The phone conversation between fantasy veterans Bob Harris and Matt Waldman is a quick and dirty rundown of players, units, or teams from Sunday's games. Feel it or fuck it is our instant verdict on the fantasy value of a player situation, not the ability, effort, or character of the player. This is just how two old-timers in this industry talk when they got a lot to cover in a little time.
Oh my God, it's Monday already. It must be time. Hello, Matt Waldman. How are you today?
Oh, Mr. Harris. I'm pretty good. How was Alec Pierce, though?
Alec Pierce, fuck that. Look, I don't trust it, right? I don't trust the offense in general. I don't trust the workload, the timeshare. I mean, he was only on the field for what? He's splitting with Ashton Doolin. I think they're looking at 32%, 45% snap share. I don't know. I don't feel like he's a front-end player. I think there's a lot of rookies I like better.
Yeah, I'd say he's a guy that's going to get better as the season goes along, so I'm feeling it for monitoring him, but yeah, fuck it for...
I feel it as a dynasty, and so I know I'm outside the loop on a lot of this, but a lot of the rookies I feel like great as dynasty, right? Great in the long term, but in the shorter term, I'm looking for players who can contribute right away. And in this offense, I don't know what the hell it's going to be. Fuck this offense. Maybe that's what I'm saying.
See, I'm a believer down the line, but I think right now, yeah, you got to say that, and I think you can get him later. How about Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
I'm trading him now before the touchdown runs out, and he turns into an unvaluable commodity. I just don't see the workload has not been there.
Yeah, right turn Clyde. Actually, left turn Clyde. I don't know which turn Clyde, but all I know is that you're going to get punched in the face basically if you decide you're going to deal with Clyde, because it's still a committee. You can still see that it's a committee, right. And Andy Reid is still going to give enough opportunities to other people that. This whole idea that Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to do work for you inside, and he's going to get some red zone looks. He's going to get some receptions, but it's not always going to turn, like you said, into touchdowns.
Yeah. At the end of the year, it's probably going to look more like the end of last year, where Jet McKinnon is out there getting all the work.
Yeah, without a doubt.
All right, Jelani Woods, C. Pierce, Alec.
Yeah, totally believe in that it's C. Pierce, Alec on that one, because there's too many possibilities in that offense, but no confirmed candidates that we want to use other than Jonathan Pierce and Nyheim Hines. Jonathan Taylor.
Leave Alec Pierce out of this.
Alec Pierce would like to be Jonathan Pierce at this point. That might get him halfway to the production we want to see regularly.
Sometimes, especially, in terms of fantasy tight ends, when you have three tight ends, you have no tight ends. And the Colts have three tight ends, and Woods was at the bottom of the playing time pecking order in this one. He was just on the field for 16 snaps and three targets, 2 catches, touchdown.
What are you, a Shaolin master or something? You have 3 tight ends, you have no tight ends, Yeah, there we go. All right. Well, what about DeVante? No, let's not skip anybody. Let's skip to DeVante Parker, since I already said his name. We'll go back.
Well, I have to feel this because I'm so heavily invested in. I have about every double-digit round pick in some draft includes DeVante Parker. Look, he's been productive in the past. I think this game was obviously the outlier. I'm not excited that Mac Jones is not going to be around for a little while. I'm not excited by any of it. I'm not ready to drop him yet, so it's not a fuck him, but I ain't feeling it either. It was a great game. I'm happy I got it, and the best ball shares will be paying off.
I'd say fuck it, get rid of it, try and figure out a way to do something with him that's going to be productive for you long term, because when I watched that game, what I saw was a player who feasted on some contested plays or some scheme plays to get him open against a defense in Davis Armour, the young Baltimore corner. He's been giving up a lot. He's very generous right now. I'm not feeling that at all.
I think what we should be feeling here is playing against Baltimore's secondary.
Yes, for right now. Yes, until that unit gets healthy. Yes,
Peters and Humphrey got to get right, and until they are, I'm gonna be exploiting this.
Yeah. I don't think it's gonna. Well, they're not playing Baltimore anymore, so I know that find the next guy. That's what I'd say.
Right, and I'm not sure I have a great deal of faith in Brian Hoyer. All due respect to him.
Yeah, I would agree.
All right, Amari Cooper.
I'm feeling it because the Steelers linebackers may not be all that great, but the safeties and cornerbacks are. I think Jacoby Brissett and the offense have figured out how to use him. It's not just on verticals. Let him be the route runner that he's always been, which is quick breaking routes, intermediate routes. They're letting him use the whole tree. And I think as a result of that, Brissette is a little better when you are actually allowing him to be a short and intermediate passer.
Let me help you out here. So, there was a time when we lived in caves and stuff as people, and there was a noise outside, and it might have been a mouse, but we assumed it was a saber-toothed tiger because why? That way we didn't get killed as easily. When we were drafting Amari Cooper, we're thinking, oh, he doesn't have the quarterback we wanted, so it's going to be the worst thing possible. No, Jacoby Brissett can actually, cobble together a game on occasion, and what you said, the shorter and intermediate routes that he's able to thrive on is what they're focusing on. So I'm feeling this as well. And everyone who drafted him way later than he should have gone is going to benefit from it.
Yeah, without a doubt. So are we feeling Jacoby Brissett then as a result of this?
I'm not going that far. Let's not get crazy or anything. There's a lot of quarterbacks out there. So no, I feel like he's going to keep this offense semi on schedule and keep the components we're interested in, the Nick Chubbs, Kareem Hunts, and David Njoku's, and Amari Cooper's viable.
Yeah, I think he can support basically two receivers, and that is Cooper and Njoku at this point. If he gets to the point where he's able to support a third receiver on a regular basis, then you want to buy into Jacoby Brissett, but I wouldn't sit there and monitor that heavily and waste a lot of time doing so.
Correct.
Well, then
Laviska Shenault Jr. You're not a truther. I'm not so I don't I don't watch college football, so I also am not a Laviska Shenault truther. I have no idea what the hell he did in college. I don't care. I've seen him as a pro, and I see him in this game, and yes, the truthers are going to get very excited. No offense to you truthers out there. I get it. He's very athletic. All these things are great. Has all these skills. Also, only on the field for 8 to 11 snaps, and it's a horrible offense, and so there you have it.
He made one dude miss, and then he had enough speed and speed isn't really his calling card. So on top of that, he made one dude miss, and then basically the pursuit didn't have angles to catch up with him after that. Until I see him running a ton of routes and getting a lot of opportunities.
Or until Arthur Smith gets a hold of him and turns him into Cordero Patterson.
That too. But the problem is Cordero Patterson's about 230, 240 and doesn't get hurt. And Laviska Shenault, I think is some sort of other language or code name for hamstring or ankle or rib or collarbone, So no.
So while we're on this Carolina offense, the apple of my eye is always DJ Moore. I think he's like the leavening agent for risky rosters where you get that piece that you get in there, kind of the Keenan Allen, the cheap Keenan Allen that you can get in there. You're gonna get solid production. Where are we at on DJ Moore?
Yeah, see, that tone of voice change, where that's at. Because I love DJ Moore, but it's disappointing. But the reason
this is a Baker Mayfield question.
It is a Baker Mayfield tweet up and down. And that's, fuck that. No way. Because you look at this offense, and DJ Moore is exactly basically the thing that Baker Mayfield does worst, which is throw timing routes over the middle in stride to his receiver when there's any type of coverage, whether it's a slant, it's an it's an over route. Unless the guy is standing there still and Baker Mayfield can hit him, with a clean pocket, have fun with that, because it's basically Odell Beckham all over again. And next thing we know, DJ Moore's dad's going to be making a tape.
We are on the list of people not impressed with Baker Mayfield. Fair point.
Yes, and I've been on that list since the beginning, and I'll just say, I'll just say that it's been a long time coming here. I just showed a Twitter tweet of all Browns fans who were training for, the likelihood of getting a Baker Mayfield back in 2018, where they were basically kicking themselves in the groin and training for that. And I think that's what I was saying about the Packers this weekend, is that I had to implement that video again for Aaron Rodgers with his training video. But, he had a little bit of success yesterday. But anyway, I digress. How about Khalil Herbert?
I feel this as long as David Montgomery's out, and we'll find out more about that. He's got the knee and ankle injuries because the Chicago Bears have decided better to run a high school offense than to rely on the quarterback that the previous regime drafted for them. So whoever is at running back is going to be a very busy man. I'll take that volume.
I always laugh when somebody asked Brandon Thorpe what will it take for Justin Fields to turn into Jalen Hurts in terms of production, and he gave like a whole long shopping list of things that needed to happen around him. But Khalil Herbert isn't part of that. He's a Dalvin Cook starter kit in terms of the skill sets that he has. And you saw it on display once again. And I mean, the moment you saw him do it against the top-ranked Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense last year and render Damian Williams a free agent again, very quickly, that tells you all that you need to know about Khalil Herbert. He's for real.
I'm going to ask you the next one because I already answered it. Darnell Mooney.
Yeah, that's all we need to say. How about Josh Allen? No, not Josh Allen. Josh Reynolds. We know about Josh Allen.
I want to both feel and fuck this, which doesn't sound good. He's a starting wide receiver on an offense that throws the ball a hell of a lot. He gets a good target share. I mean, they start 3 wide, so he's out there. I've been kind of all in on DJ Chark as, again, not a all-in play, but it's that double-digit receiver that looks like he'd have a good role. And I think weeks that's going to pay off, and weeks I'm going to wish that guy was Josh Reynolds. Who does have a relationship with Jared Goff, some chemistry developing during their time together with the Rams. So I think, look, nobody's playing him as a frontline player. You're hoping to avoid a 0 on a bye week going forward. I'm feeling that. Otherwise, it's not a safe play. Both those guys, by the way, got more snaps than Amon-Ra St. Brown yesterday because I think he got picked up his back or something. So, but it's they're in threes almost all the time.
Yeah, and I'm totally feeling it as a bye week play. I actually started him this week in a couple of leagues due to injuries to starters that I already had. Guys like Chris Godwin or folks like that in dynasty leagues where I had I have a deep bench, and he was my first call starter because exactly what you said of the relationship that he has with Goff and what he's not going to win coverage against Patrick Peterson on a regular basis, which he didn't do this past weekend, but against zone, against certain man coverage looks, especially where they allow him to use his height and his length, he does pretty darn well. So what about Irv Smith?
Everybody's summertime darling is now the Hunter Henry starter kid. He's just a touchdown dependent play junior. Not getting a ton of playing time. Getting enough playing time, right? But Johnny Munt is on the field a hell of a lot too and gets targets, and there are plenty of other mouths to feed in that offense. So I mean, again, more of a streaming option now than a frontline player. The guy that I don't see him as the guy that we expected to break out last year and then again this year.
Yeah, I'm just pretty much off him totally because he's talented. Whenever he gets an opportunity where he displays that athletic ability, he puts it into action. But
as long as he catches the pass.
As long as he catches the pass, that's right. And so there's something off with him that we don't know about because he was too good of a prospect for this type of behavior. It's almost like he felt like he made it, and now he's barely hanging on. He's kind of like that government.
Oh, is that what it is? Now I'm just hanging on.
Are you a government employee, Bob? That's what I want to know. I work with some government
How about his
employees.
teammate, KJ Osborne? Feel him or fuck him?
Oh, see, we're skipping that one. How about KJ Osborne? I'd say no, fuck that. I need to see a little bit more proof. I think really all that was that I'm feeling Jeffrey Okudah and what he did against Justin Jefferson this weekend, and KJ Osborne basically earned a game-winning play against a cornerback or a defensive back who got beaten badly and vastly overreacted. So what about Tyler Conklin, former Viking?
Okay. Yeah. I want to take a little credit here. Let me take a little victory lap here.
Okay.
Yes, feeling it for what he is, right? I mean, nobody should get overly excited here. There is an entire universe of tight end twos and streaming options available. We say that every year, and every year it's, you're one of 11 other managers in your league chasing the prime streaming options. Maybe he's one that's a little off the radar. Probably won't be after this week. Caught all 8 of his targets. That's great. We'll see what happens when Zach Wilson comes back. But this one's been coming on since the summer. We saw this summer. All the Jets beat writers I talked to through August said, no, we're asking about CJ Uzama, and they're going, no, you're asking about the wrong guy. It's going to be Tyler Conklin.
Pass me the baton, brother. Pass me the baton.
Got it.
There we go. I'm going to take my lap too because definitely this was a guy that I liked in Minnesota when he came out of Central Michigan very good player in terms of being able to win routes, had a wide receiver type of skill set. Always liked him. You could see that he overshadowed Irv Smith down the line. And then even by the end of the season, if you didn't believe either of us, you should have listened to the former Jet scout who's been writing about camp all summer and saying Tyler Conklin was probably the find in free agency for that team, and you can see how
just before we go too far here, and I want to use the line Winston Wolf line from Bolt Fiction, but I won't. We're talking about a tight end too, people, a streaming option. Yes, we're very self-congratulatory when we discover these. So
well, it's Monday. Yeah, it's Monday morning, and we're bleary eyed. So exactly.
Garrett Wilson. Okay, let's go, Mr. Rookie Scouting Portfolio.
Yeah, I'm totally feeling it. And as really more of like a wide receiver 3 or a flex play, because he's going to have up and down weeks, and we're going to be worried about what Zach Wilson does when he gets back into the lineup. With Joe Flacco, it's going to be fine, but they're featuring him a lot in the slot. So as a result of that, he's getting a lot of two-way goes where he can use that tremendous athletic ability. And then in the red zone, they use him on fade routes where he can jump over people. They've figured out what to do with him as a rookie right now, and it's working just fine.
So I tend to have a blind spot for rookies. Not all rookies. I'm a big Drake London guy and have been going into the season and feel really great about that. But in general, in redraft, I tend to have a blind spot. And I know our friend Dwayne McFarland, who's one of the smartest guys in the business, took me down on Twitter. Not me personally, but just mentioned that rookie wide receivers are the cheat code, right? Last night, because they are playing extremely well. So I need to fix my blind spot. We'll see what Garrett Wilson does with the other Wilson. Zach under center instead of Joe Flacco. Maybe it'll be greater. I don't know what their chemistry is or isn't. Maybe it'll take some more time to get them back on track. We'll find out about all that. But my blind spot is going away.
Well, that's cool. Well, how about veterans who basically do nothing but play well on special teams and get cameo appearances and then suddenly pop up after year 7 or year 6?
And future coaches, from what I'm told.
Yeah, Mack Hollins.
I am not feeling this, and I'm not feeling this probably like Josh McDaniels did not feel his closed door meeting with Mark Davis after yesterday's game, which delayed his press conference. That'll be great. Probably Mack Hollins was one of the few bright spots that they had to talk about. Look, there was no Hunter Renfrow. I think that probably opened up some targets and he'll be a part of this offense. I mean, he's a starting wide receiver for this offense. There's, don't get me wrong. But I don't think you should be expecting this kind of production on the weekly.
No, but I'm starting to feel him as a bye week option based on what he's done, even with Hunter Renfrow in the lineup, and based on the fact that he was able to make clutch catches. He made 2 clutch catches in this game, and one of them was a vertical route down on the boundary where he literally tracked it over his head.
Yeah,
that
one
was
of the hardest catches to make.
Yeah, beautiful play.
Let's talk about the best receiver. Stop it. Let's get to the best receiver of the day, Derrick Henry. Look, man. So, I don't want to I want to go overboard on this, right? But I mean, the levels of angst and panic when the guys we invested early picks in is insane, and we've talked about this, I think, every week. What is this week is not going to be next week, and that's not to say Derrick Henry is going to be the best receiver among all the running backs on the planet Earth going forward. But he can't catch the ball. It seemed to open up the offense a little bit. Are you feeling Derrick Henry right now?
I'm hiding behind something big when I say this because I'm afraid of Derrick Henry, but I'm feeling him as a matchup play, but that's about it. Because I was asked this last week on a different show, and I said Derrick Henry is not cooked. Derrick Henry is not washed up. He still looks like the same old Derrick Henry. His line is the problem.
And it just got worse this week.
Got worse this week. And they played a team that you can get healthy against in the Raiders, and you kind of saw that coming. So I'm not fuck him as a starter, feeling it as a bye week option or a
get out of here. He'll be fine, everybody. Volume will be there. They've got the volume dialed in. He'll get something done for you and fall into the end zone on occasion.
That. I'm feeling him totally as a matchup play. When he starts to play some difficult defenses, I hope you found somebody else, and it's going to be tough because most of you aren't going to feel that, and you're going to start him. You're going to be disappointed. That's all I'm saying, and it has nothing to do with him.
I'm telling Derek.
I'm telling Derek. I don't like those Bama guys anyway. There we go.
He's no Trent Richardson, sir.
He is no Trent Richardson. That's right. There we go. How about Robert Woods?
I'm feeling Robert Woods being Robert Woods, right? A great downfield blocker, which will keep him on the field. And there are going to be games where he catches some passes. I think, relying on any of these Tennessee receivers, although I will say the one that I love, Derrick Henry, looked great yesterday. But also, not to belabor the point, but it did seem to open things up. A few passes to Derrick Henry seemed to open things up for the other players there as well. But I'm not a keen buy-in on any of these Titans wide receivers.
I'll buy in early on Robert Woods because I believe they're going to have to throw the football to stay in games. And as long as Ryan Tannehill is going to be the starter, I'm good with Robert Woods. If the rumblings are for Malik Willis, then I'm worried about that. That's the big trap door with Robert Woods. Yeah.
I'm not in.
You're not.
I mean, I'm in because I drafted him some. I probably have kind of like it, but I mean, it was just a point where there, you know how you're in a draft, you're like, I don't love anybody. Let me just somebody I think that like is really super competent and a solid professional. Okay, Robert Woods fits the bill.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen. I mean, we'll have fun with this one. We're going to revisit the Titans. I have a feeling on a weekly basis.
Oh, I'm sure.
When it comes to this one. So, what about Devin Duvernay?
Like, again, I'm feeling this for what it is. It's the ancillary piece that's going to rise up any given Sunday and deliver some points. And you predicting when that's going to happen is going to leave you frustrated and out of sorts.
See, I don't know. I'm not with you on that one.
That's okay.
I know. I feel like you can predict where it is now because I think we see what Isaiah Likely is. He's a gadget piece now. I think Devin Duvernay is the real deal. Now, that doesn't mean that he's a high volume real deal. No, but I think he's one of your first call bye-week options or first call guys that when someone's hurt because he is getting enough volume, I think, to justify using him. It's not
until there's a DeMarcus Robinson week.
There's no DeMarcus Robinson week. There is no. This is not. I don't know what myth. I don't know what myth there is. We're gonna call it the DeMarcus Robinson myth. Okay.
The James Prochet week.
The James Pro. That's it. He belongs in the James Prochet week, and the kid from
Fuck
Oklahoma
it. I just
State,
made my point. We're moving on.
Jahan
Dotson.
We might be talking about a Jahan Dotson week at this point too. As much as I like what his skills are about. He's got to be they want to match him up in specific situations for him to win. But I think he's truly the third or fourth option in this offense. And when Logan Thomas gets healthy, he might end up being the fourth or fifth option as we go. So fuck that. I'm feeling him, but fuck that.
Feeling him and I'm feeling the coaching staff here for scheming these guys into really great spots. All of them, right? Yeah. Including Dotson, who, again, was the primary read on some of those touchdowns that he has scored this year. I wish he would have caught more of his targets this past week. But there's too many mouths to feed there for Carson Wentz to deal with. So I'm with you in general. Travis Etienne.
I'm leaning
Junior.
To begin the season it was fuck it. And then before the season it was kind of like fuck that. And then during the season, at least early on, I'm thinking, okay, I could see how he might have a role in this, but it's James Robinson time. If you drafted Travis Etienne at the price that he's at, fuck that, because it's where you're going to have to force yourself to feel it, I guess. On some level, you're going to be eating the cost on him. That's all I can say. I think he's an ancillary piece to this offense that they scheme open, but he's not going to be as worthwhile as, say, Curtis Samuel, who gets schemed everywhere. I think that Etienne is that guy that's going to give you high lows, and if you're in a best ball league, he's great. If you're in a regular league, you're going to try and play matchups with him, and that means that you're looking for situations where the games are close. If the game's going to be close, Etienne's going to give you value if you think that the Jaguars have an opportunity to be ahead. And the Jaguars are pretty good this year, I think. I think they're actually going to be in play for a wild card this year, as at least competing for it towards the end. They may not get it, but they're going to come close. And that means James Robinson is the guy that you should be feeling here.
Yeah, I'm feeling James Robinson as well. Sorry, Travis. J.K. Dobbins, I think better days are coming, Matt. Fuck him this week. And probably we all should have going to this game the way they slow rolled him back. And the Patriots matchup was not ideal. But going forward, there's something to be said for the second best running back, who also isn't a quarterback, on this offense, right?
Yeah, I would say so. And certainly Ravens fans will be talking about Justice Hill, who looked very explosive. Yeah, he's looked good. He's explosive. He's going to be the complement to J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins looked good in his first start. When you watch, there's one play where he makes a terrific spin move off of a cut. He looked very confident in terms of his ability. There was no limping or faux limping or anything that might indicate limping that will get J.K. Dobbins mad at Twitter once again in the summer. I think J.K. Dobbins is ready to roll, and we'll start to see that unveiling over the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Twitter's going to be chasing me anyway for calling Lamar Jackson a running back, so come get it. I didn't do that, really. He's a really good quarterback who runs well. Same with Josh Allen. It's okay.
Well, what about Tua Tagovailoa, and not him in general, but what happened at the end of the half where he falls, lands, hits the back of his head, and he's basically out on his feet and like nearly falls down after he gets up to try and jog off on the sideline. Are you feeling the fact that he got back in that game, or are you like, fuck that business? This, with
Matt,
what's going on?
This is not the concussion you're looking for.
Tua Tagovailoa played great.
He did play great in the second half. Look, I'm not going to jump to some conclusions based on what I saw. They have a story. They're going to stick to it. There's going to be an investigation. There is a unaffiliated neurological specialist there who has to sign off on all this, and I'm sure that'll be part of the investigation. And we'll see. He claims it was his back. I claim BS on that, otherwise known as bullshit. It did not look like his back to me. But I'm not a doctor, and I wasn't examining him, so I'll give everyone the benefit of the doubt until they get it figured out. But would it be totally shocking if an NFL team eager to win an important game took some chances with a player? No.
Would it be shocking that the NFL, who seems to monitor every game and really enjoys merchandise sales and is very keen about its TV money, that corporate welfare that they get on a regular basis, because obviously stadiums are almost free for their owners anyway, would be hypersensitive about a quarterback being lost for the week in a a tight division game, the game of the week. Now that's the conspiracy theory side of it for me, but I'm with you. I'm more than willing to see what the independent I don't even know if I want to call him what his title is.
Right.
Is he the independent? I don't know if that's true.
They call it unaffiliated, so I don't know if it's independent, or it might have had his Dan Marino jersey on.
Yeah, is he unaffiliated with his medical degree? Is that where his medical degree is from?
Might be a Dolphins fan, entirely possible if he's located in that area. But we'll find out going forward more about this. But honestly, it seemed a little odd to me, and I don't find a lot of things odd. I just kind of accept things for what they are. And what this does look like is they were in a super important game and felt like they needed to win. And also, I suspect they saw what Teddy Two Gloves was doing there for him in that brief moment we saw him, and it wasn't great.
Well, I was about to feel Skylar Thompson, but that's another
I
story
have
for
him
another
dynasty
time.
shares, and I blame you.
Well, you should blame me. Keep blaming me for the next year or two, and you're going to be thanking me. I'm telling you that. But, of course, I don't think you're strange, but I know I am. So maybe that's probably part of the thing. But hopefully y'all enjoyed our strangeness. Whoever was listening in.
Let's go. We got work to do. Get out of here.
All right.
Love you. Goodbye.
Bye.